Hello, I'm Dr. Andrzej Kulisz. I was born during Hitler times. That was at the end of the war. And then I lived 34 years in a communist country. There was Poland after the war. There was Poland under Russian rule, basically. In 1980, I immigrated legally must say, I immigrated to the United States. And since then I've been here, I'm a citizen. I work here, I pay taxes here, my family is here, my children were born here. And I'm kind of surprised that after all those past experiences that we had here in the United States, particularly and most notably during President Obama, we, or you actually, people of socialist persuasion, you really feel that we are going in the wrong direction. So let me tell you a few things. Never this country had that good as it does right now. The unemployment is the lowest, the economy grows the fastest. Our Supreme Court becomes more balanced, so it's not leftist, but actually more balanced. And those of you that don't like President Trump or Justice Gorsuch or Justice Kavanaugh, you really don't have influence over it. The thing is that I would tell you that you are young, uneducated, and easily manipulated young minds that will do whatever your masters, your puppeteers want you to do. Let me give you an example. When Hitler came to power, he came to power not because people elected him, but because there was a group of people that supported his ideas. Small group of people, but very powerful in a sense, that was able to create an organization called Brown Shields, or SA, Sturmabteilung, that basically ran through the country, destroying the order of this country. That was, people didn't really pay much attention to it simply because they felt that it's not going to last very long. Well, it did. What Hitler did afterwards, he immediately executed top of brown shirts, because he knew that if those that brought him to power can take him down, so to be sure that he is not going to be taken down, he executed them. The same was with Stalin, with Lenin, with Pol Pot, with Mao Zedong, with all those dictators that were brought to power by so-called followers. You are followers. You are just dumb. I don't think that you will be executed here, not in the United States. We are way too civilized, but you are not going to have a good life. So my advice is, why don't you join us, join the success of this country, and support those very positive changes, and support the people that actually bring those changes about. So do remember that objecting to something has to make sense. If you are objecting to something simply because it has wrong face, wrong color, wrong shape, this is not objection. This is just basically something that I cannot even explain. Anyway, being against President Trump, the one that is probably the most proficient president of all the presidents that we had in this country, being against Justice Gorsuch or Justice Kavanaugh, or being against the Constitution is just worthless. It's going to go that way. And if for whatever reason you are going to succeed, which you may actually under certain conditions, then you are going to turn this country into Venezuela. Here's the advice. Before you do it, go to Venezuela. Try to live there for a few months. Try to live like Venezuelans do. Try to find out why they are escaping Venezuela by millions to northern Brazil and to Colombia and to some other countries. Live there, experience it, and then come back and try to become socialist again. I don't think that you will like it, because socialists eventually will run out of somebody else's money. It's Margaret Thatcher's statement, as a matter of fact. If you know who Margaret Thatcher was. If you don't, Google it. Well, there is another thing. Women. That's a very important thing. We have it all over, Me Too movement and all this stuff. In 1973 or 1974, probably there was the time before you were even born, I was here in this country. I came to this country and I was in a hotel resting after a long trip. And I've seen a program about women who are actually doing wet t-shirt competition. I was a young man. I was 20-something. I could not believe that women can actually do it to themselves, that women can demean themselves. And this very substantial thing, because I came from a family where women were as feminine as they could be and attractive as they can be, and they were doctors and professors, and they spoke number of languages, and they were very well world traveled. And those that were on television screen, they were bimbos, and they just they were getting attention by basically by demeaning themselves. So my point is that this mentality is projecting right now, 2 generations later, on women in America. So what happens is that we never had so many sex abuse, quote unquote, cases as we have right now, where women mistakenly, most commonly, mistakenly take somebody else's admiration, men's admiration, for abuse. I stopped complimenting women altogether. I mean, it used to be that, well, you have a beautiful dress, you have great shoes, you look greatly, something like that. In Europe, this is very welcomed. Actually, we'll say, well, thank you very much. And here, this is offense, this abuse. Actually, my wife and I were going once to the bank, I think, and I held the door for a young woman to let her pass. And she yelled at me, I don't need you to hold my door, I can do it myself. Well, honey, don't let the door hit you. At any event, 2 generations later, it's 2018 right now, and we have results of it. So this is the wrong way to all of a sudden try to become respectful by blaming others. It's not going to happen. And if your parents or whatever didn't do wet t-shirt competition, actually many of you probably of the same age or similar age to mine did this before. If you are trying to all of a sudden become reputable women, doing wet t-shirt competition, probably is kind of several notches worse than complaining about Kavanaugh throwing ice at somebody when he was 17. Think about it. Once again, never in the history of the United States so many young men go overseas to study and to find wives that actually still have some common sense. And Antifa, once again, you people try to be anti-fascist. Well, there is no fascism in the United States other than you. And your behavior can only be explained by similar example of Sturmabteilung that was destroying Jewish shops, Jewish stores in Germany. You are not anti-fascist. You are just a bunch of hooligans that is supported by some wealthy liberals that try to actually destroy this country. You will fade into history. You will not be even mentioned. You will run out of it. And the primary reason is that people that support you right now financially, they will not do it anymore. And the problem is that you don't have any skills, you don't have any abilities, any desires other than cause damage. So, all things taken together, wake up. Wake up, you snowflakes. Wake up, those of you that don't take a shower and live in the mother's or father's basement. Wake up. Get out from under the rock. Find out how does it look like. Maybe get a job. Start paying taxes. Find out how how this whole thing really works. You happen to live in one of the best countries of the best time ever. And I can tell you this. I've been U.S. citizen, naturalized citizen for some time, and I lived through communism. I lived through socialism. My father was in a concentration camp, actually too. So the point is that think about it as your future in the context of your future, because if you will continue the way you do right now, you will be nobody. You will be B class of American citizens. And that would be it. Think about this and vote for Republicans, because their presence will make this country great, and it is the only chance for you to actually live good life in the future. Thank you. Thank you for listening.